Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Medlands Outdoors. Today we're going to talk about ice fishing basics and what you need to get out on the water. Hang in there, stay tuned, and we'll get right into it. Alright guys, so first thing, safety. You're walking out on the ice, you're not sure, hey, it doesn't look that thick, or I don't know how thick it is. Well, I would definitely recommend picking up a nice spud bar. Spud your way out. You're banging that spud on the ice. You want to check for thickness, You don't want to have any water coming up on the first poke with that spud. Definitely, if you're a beginner, you know what? I wouldn't even recommend that. I'd recommend going with somebody who knows what the ice conditions are, or they've been out there, they've got the experience. Um, Definitely, maybe go with a friend. I think that would probably be the best advice. Um, Second is going to be these ice picks. Now, these ice picks, if you was to actually fall through the ice, you have these around your neck like this, and they're always with you, especially on days when you don't know what the ice conditions are going to be like. But these are going to save your life, or could very well save your life. And you pull them apart, and what they do is they dig into the ice, and you're able to grip the ice and pull yourself up out of the lake. So definitely, these are big key things for safety, for sure. So talking about thickness of the ice, there is so much information out there with all your local bait shops and everything else like that. Contact them. They're going to tell you, hey, the ice isn't safe, or this area is safe, but avoid this area or that area. They're going to have the most knowledge because people are going in there continuously, and they're giving ice reports. They're saying where they're catching them, or maybe they're not telling you where they're catching them. But anyway, these people, the locals, are going to have the best knowledge of how thick that ice is, how safe it is. Hey, are we even ready for having a four-wheeler or a snowmobile out there? You know? So either way, like I said, go with a friend. Check all the ice reports, whether it's online. There's plenty of channels out there that is always giving an ice report for your area. Check with the local bait shops. They're going to have the most information. So nonetheless, 4 inches of clear ice is great. That's going to be basically what I'm looking for before I even consider going out, to be honest with you. I've been out there on 3 inches of clear ice too, but you don't want to walk right next to your friend either. You want to spread out and make sure that you guys have enough room in case one of you goes through. You're not going to take your buddy with you. Really, for safety, I mean, that's it. Warm clothes. If you are walking on clear ice and there's no snow, get spikes for your boots. You can buy those at any local sports shop, and they just fit over your boots. That'll give you traction on the ice. And then nice clothes, layer up, Carhartt's nice heavy ski jacket or whatever the case is. Unless you have a little bit of money and you want to invest in it, then I'd definitely go with some kind of a float suit for ice fishing. Other than that, you know what? Let's move on to the next. Now, let's talk about gear. You're ice fishing, you ain't going to use a fishing rod that you use in the summertime. You are going to be sitting over or on top of a bucket, and you're going to be sitting right over your hole for the most part. So you want to have a smaller ice fishing rod. Right here, this was a combo that I picked up at a local sporting goods. I won't promote them because I don't care for them anymore, but this is 13's Fishing Thermal Ice. This is a great rod. I've had great success with it. If you check out any of my ice fishing videos, this is my primary ice fishing rod. I believe this is a 24-inch rod, and it is a medium light, I believe. I can really feel the bluegills It's got a lighter tip right here. Um, you can check it out. But this is basic combo. You can pick this up at the store, like I was saying, for like about 30-35 bucks. It's a great entry level ice fishing rod. Um, yeah, and it's already pre-spooled and everything, so you're ready to go. So that's one to consider. All right, guys. So if you're wanting to go with a little bit bigger fish, then you're definitely going to need a stiffer rod, right? So this is the HT Fast Stick Pro SX. I picked this up at Cabela's. I think this was $54, 55 bucks, something like that. But you see how this tip is real forgiving? Most of the structure and the backbone is back here in the rod itself. Um, that is going to give you enough strength to haul in a larger fish. You have a little bit longer line, or thicker line, sorry. So I think I'm using 10-pound test on this line. And by the feel of this, I'm going to have to cut back some of this line before I go out fishing this year. But I use this for pike fishing and walleye. So I've got a leader on here, and I put a a treble hook on it, and I tip that with a pike minnow, and it's ready to rock and roll. So if you're going to go with the larger fish that your targeting species is, you know, the HT Fast Stick Pro SX, like I said, at Cabela's for about 55 bucks, that's going to be your ticket. Um, so that's pretty much it for the rods, you know. All right, guys. Next, what we have is tip-ups. So these tip-ups are also great for the walleye, the pike, any large species of fish that you're actually going over, or going after, I should say, so I apologize. So what this does, this is a Frabill. These are like $15 a piece. So you've got this flag here. That flag, you know, blows in the wind once it pops up, right? So what you have is, you can loosen this up a little bit. You've got a little washer right there, but you want that to go straight up and down. So tighten that up a little bit, and this is going to drop down in your hole. And then here you've got your spool. Now I use a 30-pound braided line, and I use a half, maybe it's a 3/4 inch split shot there. So what that does is it's going to help take that minnow down a little bit faster. So what I do when I'm setting these up, usually I'm ice fishing in about 12 feet of water. So I'll set it up about 6 feet deep. So I'll hold this up about head high, string that down so the minnow's on the ice, and then I'll drop it down into the hole. So you've got this T on the top here, and this just comes down. I don't like this. I think you're supposed to actually pull that up and use that. But so what happens is, this is sitting in the hole now, and you've got your pike minnow down there, or even a shiner, and a fish takes off. Well, then it turns, pops, and now this is spinning when the fish is taken off with your bait. Now you're notified when that flag goes off. This is spinning. All you do is you just pull this out of the hole a little bit, grab up the slack line. When it feels a little bit tight, you feel a little tug, give it a snap, reel your fish in, bring that boy home, put him on the ice, put him in your frying pan. I do have a steel leader on this because I do always go fishing for pike with these for the most part. So I've got me a 10-inch steel leader on there, and then I've just went ahead and unclasped the end of it, and then I just snapped that treble hook on there, and that's pretty much all you need. This is going to last you for quite a few years. I've not had to change this line out. Now I've used these for 2 years. But while I was showing you guys this, I did find a big old knot that was in the line, so I'm going to cut that line back up to that spot, and then I'm going to go ahead and retie my leader on there and get this set back up. Alright guys, so while I'm trying to go through this and just go over the basics of what everybody's going to need, really, so I mentioned the ice auger, that's one. So the second thing that joins in with your ice auger and continuing through the day, as you're poking holes through the ice searching for the fish that you're looking for, recommend getting an ice scoop. So what that is it just looks like a strainer, a water strainer on a handle. Those are relatively cheap and you can pick them up at the same places that you're picking up the rest of your gear too. You know, $6, $8. And, you know, you're going to need a sled at some point. That sled, that's going to carry your bucket with your rods, your tip ups. Maybe you got a backpack full of drinks and, you know, some sandwiches for throughout the day. So a sled, that's going to definitely be a benefit to have. Necessity, maybe not at first when you're first getting out there and maybe you don't have a lot of gear, but it's definitely going to make the trip out onto the ice that much better. You just pull it, man. It's just like pulling your kid around on a sled. Okay guys, let's get into a little bit of gear, right? So you know what? If you can see that, the THK fish, making fishing better, or makes fishing better. Yeah, it's true. You know what? You can find this on Amazon. I'll try and find the link and add it to the description. This is relatively cheap, but it gives you quite a few different options. We'll kind of go over that real fast so that we're not wasting a whole lot of time, right? So you've got different weighted jigs. Look at that, and I haven't cleaned anything off, so that's still on there. This is a cheaper jig setup, but like I said, you can pick these up on Amazon. And what this is this actually glows in the dark. It looks like a little minnow, little bit. That actually works out pretty good. But if you hold it in a light just right, you know, and then you drop it down in there, this one glows. You've got that one. You've got some smaller ones in here too. Black works good. It's basically the same thing. You can see the eye on there. That one works pretty good. Those two are about the same weight. You've got a red one. Same thing. And then you've got little teardrop ones. A little bit lighter. A little bit smaller. Different color. Got the eye on there. And I'd go ahead and put like wax worms on here, little spikes. I do have quite a few of those, but it also comes with like these little flat little jig heads and a couple of these too. These will glow in the dark, but this one catches some good fish right there. Little shines and flops. This side is reflective, but also glows in the dark. So those are good, and all these come in this little pack. So you've got the same thing here. Here's another flat one. It's got the blue and silver in it. This side is actually different, but this also glows in the dark. And then they've got their versions of the Rip and Wraps. So what it is, it's got a treble hook on the bottom. You tie your line up here on the top. It's got a hook on the back, and then it's got a hook on the front, and it's got these little, I don't know if you can really see them, but these like little plastic wings on the back, right? So when you pull up on it, it flutters down this way. But these are pretty cool for like walleye and pike. But it comes in 3 different sizes, weights of these in this little pack. And I think this pack is only like 15 bucks, if that. But yeah, that's a good starter kit. So basically you can pick that up right there and have all of that equipment with you, and that'll get you on the ice started, and you won't have any regrets. But like I said, these are still in the packages pretty much because I don't use them. But these jig heads right here, perfect, man. Different sizes, different weights, different colors. Tip it with like a spike wax worm, and you'll be set to go on your jig heads. That'll at least get you started until you start really researching and finding out what works for different species. Alright guys, so now that we've gone over the jig heads, what do you put on the jig heads? Plastics. These will get you on crappie, bluegill, perch, blah 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 blah. But the best part is, I'm bringing it to Rod Knockers Custom Baits, and they are located in Michigan. They are in Southeast Michigan, and these guys put a lot of time, a lot of effort into creating these plastics so that they can get them out to everybody. I encourage you to go ahead and jump online, check them out on Facebook, and they have all the soft plastics that you're going to want, and different jig heads too, for ice fishing, for springtime, summertime, fall time fishing. They've got jig heads, all different sizes for walleye fishing, and for they've got plastic baits for walleye fishing. Pretty much everything that you guys are going to want. So for ice fishing, here's just a couple of things. They call this a pink mousy. So I have that in all different colors. I've got it in green. I've got them in black, white, all kinds. Here's another thing that's good for perch. Fish eyes. They also supply them at Rod Knockers. So just pick up all these different kinds of plastics, search what you think is going to work out good. White works out really good. The pink works out really good. But definitely, I would recommend picking up some soft plastics, especially if you're living in Michigan. Go with a local company. Keep these guys making money. Keep them busy, Hey guys, real quick, one last thing that's really going to help you find the fish after you've drilled a couple of holes. You're going to want to watch the depth. Try and find a drop off, a weed line, whatever the case is. So I have a Humminbird Ice 35. It's basic. It's like $250, and it works out great. So basically what you do is each one of these numbers here are indicated by, this is 10 feet and shallower, 2 is up to 20 feet, then you've got up to 40 feet, and then it's marked here all the way around. So the white would be the first, that's up to 10 feet. Then your 2 by is 20 feet plus. Then your 4 by. So what this does basically, once you turn it on, you can see here, this is your top indicator. I don't have anything out right now, but you drop your transducer here down into the hole, and it'll read the bottom. We'll see if I can figure out how to do the demo on here. Alright guys, so getting back to the demo for the ice flasher, right? So right here, this is you, and you're jigging up and down, right? So you drop your jig down there, you'll watch it, and you follow it all the way down. Now down here, the red is the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, but the red is the bottom. Yellow and green are fish. And then you jig it up and down, and the fish will come up to it, and then you just pull your fish up. So drop it down. You got your fish here, marking your jig here. Here comes the fish. So this is really going to help you mark in if there's any fish down there at all. It's going to tell you what your depth is. This right here basically is showing red at 12 feet. If it was deeper, then maybe the red would be in the 14 feet, 16 feet. At least this would give you an indication of how deep you are fishing and if there's any fish on the bottom. So either way, guys, don't have much more to go. We're talking about basics. We're talking about getting you on the ice fishing. I went over a couple of different rod options. Definitely take a bucket so you can put all your gear in there. Jig heads, plastic baits, tip ups, ice auger, fishing sled. Either way, guys, I really appreciate you staying tuned. If you found this video helpful, informative, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, and I will see you on the next one.